Our friends in New York got scammed today with a bad law that got passed in about 48 hours in the middle of the night by this Mayor Cuomo and Bloomberg and all that bogus stuff that's going on. I've never made a video on this short of notice, by the way. I'm doing this out of the respect to all of you who are requesting me by the dozens to do this, and specifically to one person, a priest, who is, please, Tom, please tell us what's going on here in New York. And thank you, Father. This is for you. All right. First of all, I'm from New York. I grew up in New York, Smithtown. Spent my summers in the Hamptons with my grandparents, and that is where my bloodline is. You know, my Italian bloodline is right there in New York, so I'm with you guys there. And what just happened is brutal, and I'm gonna have a happy ending. That's not happy. It's an ending that you want to stay tuned for the whole video, because I'm going to tell you what the sheriffs can possibly do, and also what the 10th Amendment can do for us. So hang in for the whole video. I'm doing this on the fly. This is what just happened right now, today, January 15th, and then tomorrow I got to come at you with a new video with Obama's 19 charges against us. Gosh, and then we have to battle that, okay? But let's go step by step. Let's talk about what happened in New York today. Welcome to weaponseducation.com. Yeah, New York got scammed. It happened very fast. And as a person who was born in New York, I grew up in Long Island, Smithtown in particular, and also the Hamptons on the weekends with my grandparents, and I have a lot of family there. I'm making this video on the fly. Oh, gosh, I must say that I'm a little bit in shock of what took place, what Cuomo did to us. This governor of New York is trying to propel himself to the presidency by using the death of those children. Let's talk about, we have a lot of stuff to talk about right now, including what's going on tomorrow with President Obama giving us 19 charges. All right, let me just get right into it. I want you to be able to vent out, you New Yorkers, and all of us Americans, and everyone across the world who supports us Americans. Please help us. We need support. And I'll talk about the NRA here in a moment, but I'll talk about it right now. It's no coincidence that this is all happening during SHOT Show 2013 in Las Vegas. I'm supposed to be there. I let down 10, 15 different manufacturers. They're wanting to fly me out there. They want me to do videos of their boots, but like I did last year. I did a lot of videos last year of their boots, and they want me to come back now that we're a bigger channel. And I said, no, my place is here in the studio. Okay, with all that said, let's talk about what's going on with gun laws in New York. All right, first of all, this is what is real. This is what's real. This is what passed by Cuomo in the midnight hours, in the last like 48 hours, and all of us are shocked. All right, it bans possession of any high-capacity magazine, regardless of when they were made or sold. Clips, you know, they don't even know what they're talking about. Magazines able to hold 7 to 10 rounds can be possessed, but cannot be loaded with more than 7 rounds. Okay, so you can have a 10-round mag, but don't put 8 rounds in it, because that 8th bullet is going to nail you in jail. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you some stuff about the 10th Amendment, and I think what is the best interview and video I ever made on this channel. I'm going to point you below to please watch it, with Sheriff Richard Mack, who sued the Clinton administration and won against the Brady Bill. He brought the Brady Bill from this to this. We can still fight. We're always going to fight. We can bring this, the stuff I'm talking about, this to this with lawsuits. I don't like attorneys like no one else does. The NRA was rocked, and they're there for us, though. I called some people in Las Vegas during SHOT Show. We got the whole freaking country we're dealing with now. Anyway, let's move on here. This is what's going on in New York. Requires ammunition dealers to do background checks. I told you they're coming after ammunition, similar to those of gun buyers. And plus, who knows what those background checks are really going to be. Can they make them more stringent? Yeah, they can make it to the point where, oh my gosh, you had a misdemeanor when you were younger? You're out. Who knows what they're going to do. It's not going to be good. They're going to throw charges that are just so absurd and make it so difficult to get guns. This is New York, but I think as a whole, this is what Obama's going to do tomorrow. Mark my words. All right, so here we go back to New York. Requires ammunition dealers to do background checks for those gun buyers. Dealers are required to report all sales. So you have to buy ammo in New York and then buy it through a dealer and then all that stuff. Requires creation of a registry of assault weapons. When I tell you what's going on for 2014, what they want to do, you're going to want to bomb it. I'll tell you right now, one of them is, if you own more than 3 guns in New York, you're a felon. That's up for January 1st, 2014. I'm going to get to that. Stipulates that stolen guns should be reported within 24 hours. No big deal. So if someone steals my gun, I'll report it within 20 minutes. Tightens the state's description of assault weapons. This is huge. Previously, state law defined an assault weapon as having 2 military rifle features, but the new law reduces that to 1 feature. And another problem here is requires creation of a registry of assault weapons. Those New Yorkers who already own such assault weapons would be required to register their guns with the state, which is leading into this proposed bill. Okay, we know what's going on here. You can only carry 7 rounds now in New York, and if you're a New Yorker, watch your news, watch your laws, and print up, understand what your laws are. I'm making this video on the fly, but this is proposed. This is very serious. New York S1422-2013, 2013. S1-1422, 2013. Google that. Okay? This is what increases the penalty for possession, use, or sale of certain firearms and ammunition, and redefines assault weapons in New York. This is what's going on in New York. New York, New Jersey, some of those states are just like off the map. And I'm almost embarrassed that I was born there. And I love you guys in New York. We're brothers. Here we go here. You can vent down below. Like, I'm doing this video off the fly. Here we go. This is real. I'm going to say it again. Google it. S1422-2013. And it is on NewYorkSenate.gov. They want to pass this by January 1st, 2014. You thought what I just said was bad about 7 rounds and background checks and things like that? You thought that was bad? Listen to this. Possession of an assault weapon on property owned or immediately controlled by the person or while on the premise of a licensed gunsmith for the purpose of a lawful repair or while engaged in illegal blah 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 is a felony. Renders the assault weapon permanently inoperable. Okay, which means is if this gets passed, you have to say your assault weapon is permanently inoperable, which they're all operable, so that's bogus. 2, you have to surrender your assault weapon to the appropriate law enforcement. This is more serious than what took place today. S1422. New York is trying to pass this by January 1st, 2014. You can vent below. They want to make it a felony and they want you to turn in your guns on January 1st, 2014. Look at this, some of this other stuff. You got to read the bill. It's, you know how these bills are, they're 30 pages. Here it is. Criminal possession of a weapon in the 3rd degree. Hey, now you're, if you do this, if you own more than 3 firearms in New York after January 1st, 2014, you are a felon. 3 firearms? A person is guilty of a criminal possession of a weapon in the 3rd degree. Okay, 3rd degree. Oh, all right, 3rd degree. Such a person possesses 3 or more firearms. Now it goes on to say, a person is guilty of a criminal possession of a weapon in the 1st degree. It gets even worse if you own 10 or more firearms. Or if you possess an assault weapon, what they call. Or if you have a large capacity feeding device. They just call it feeding device now. All right, so there you go. So you got 2 things we're looking at here to sum this. I'm doing this on the fly, I'm sorry. It's not my normal type of video. I'm doing this for Father Boris and New York and all of you New York citizens and all of us, American and everyone across the world. I pulled this data together in literally 15 minutes. The bottom line is New York passed new regulations that says you got to have 7 rounds. There is no grandfather law. And everything I just previously said. Now here's some stuff. I think this is the best part of this video that I can give you. Sheriff Tim Mueller. Okay, let's talk about sheriffs for a moment. I really think the best video that I made out of my 350 plus videos was with Sheriff Richard Mack. And I'm going to put the link below just for you to watch that video. For those of you in states that are really alarmed, and the whole country who's alarmed, what am I saying states? All of us are alarmed. Sheriff Richard Mack sat right here with me. The most prominent law enforcement officer of all time sat right here with me in this studio, and we did 2 videos. I'm going to put a link to the one that you're going to want to watch. I know it's 30 minutes. It'll be the best 30 minutes of your life. You watch that, and he sued the Clinton administration afterwards, after the Brady bill was passed, and he says, no, I'm a sheriff, and I'm not going to do all of the things in this Brady bill. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to abide by the federal guidelines due to the 10th Amendment. Let's not forget the 10th Amendment. The federal government cannot tell states what to do. And I also want to mention Sheriff Tim Mueller. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel. The sheriffs are really our saviors, besides the NRA. The NRA's really there for us, and they're believe me, we are really ready to tackle everything we can tackle. Sheriff Tim Mueller wrote this January 14th. This is yesterday. I'm not going to read the whole letter. He's a hero. Those of you in Lynn County, Oregon, I commend you for having one of the best sheriffs in America, along with the link below to Sheriff Richard Mack, the best sheriff in the history of America. Watch the video of Sheriff Richard Mack on how he sued the Clinton administration and won. So we can just change. My point is, we can tweak and change things with lawsuits. I hate attorneys, but we have to do that. And here's the crux of his letter to Vice President Joe Biden. Great letter. I love this sheriff. And this is what he says. What a stand-up sheriff. Any federal regulation enacted by Congress or by executive order of the President offending the constitutional rights of my citizens shall not be enforced by me or by my deputies. Let me read that again. Any federal regulation enacted by Congress or by executive order of the President offending the constitutional rights of my citizens shall not be enforced by me or my deputies. Listen to this. Nor will I permit the enforcement of any unconstitutional regulation or orders by federal offices within the borders of Lynn County, Oregon. This all goes back to Sheriff Richard Mack in the video below. Sheriff Tim Mueller of Oregon is on board with Sheriff Richard Mack, who back when the Clinton administration was slamming the assault weapons ban and all that stuff, Sheriff Richard Mack sued and won, and the NRA funded it. Okay? The NRA funded Sheriff Richard Mack's assault against the federal government and won. Gosh, I hope you watched the whole thing. I did this on the fly. Watch Sheriff Richard Mack's video below. Thank you. I'll be back at you tomorrow night. I'm tired. I really did this on the fly. I had 15 minutes notice. God bless.